Coming up in this week's video, how to get rid of nerves. Hey everybody, it's Kalymnios here from thethougugym.com, here helping you become that superhuman leader that I know that you can be. And as part of leading, whether it's yourself or other people, you probably will have to step outside of your comfort zone at some point in your life and maybe even deliver a talk. I do a lot of speaking, a lot of public speaking in front of people, whether that's community groups, whether that's companies, whether that's schools. And so as a result, I've also been asked to deliver public speaking workshops, and it's something I love doing. Fact is though, that 90% or more of people are nervous when it comes to public speaking. Research shows that people fear public speaking more than they do death, which, as Jerry Seinfeld used to say, the comedian, is crazy, because it means that if you're at a funeral, the person giving the eulogy, the speech at the end of the funeral, would rather be in the coffin than actually giving the speech. That's normally what I tell the people I'm delivering public speaking to, is that, look, people are nervous, okay? If you're nervous and you're sat there, that's fine. But I want to explain to you a simple way of getting out of nerves, okay? There are lots of different ways to get out of nerves, and surely practicing something over and over and getting more competence at something is going to definitely increase your confidence. But I want to share with you a simple way of looking at how the brain works and why things are the way they are and why you are nervous maybe when you're speaking in front of people. You may have already heard of the fight or flight part of our nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system. This is the part of us that is really all about survival, and when we were roaming the savannas of Africa, if a saber-toothed tiger would come to us, we didn't need to think too much, we just needed to run away, run up a tree, run up a rock, something like that. So normally what I ask people is, look, how many brains have you got in your body? And I normally get a few confused looks, maybe what you're doing right now. Well, I've got one. Some other people might say, well, I've got two. I've got the left side of the brain, I've got the right side of the brain. I say we have three parts of our brain. We've got what I call the primal part of the brain. Okay, the primal part, otherwise sometimes people refer to it as the lizard brain, the reptilian brain, but I call it the primal part of the brain. That part of the brain is the bit that formed first. It is the bit that is all about our safety, our survival, things that regulate our blood pressure, tell us when we're hungry maybe, have to eat, our temperature, defending our territory, our fight or flight response, our breathing, keeping ourselves safe. It's all about basic needs, okay, survival needs. That is the part of the brain that formed first, and that is the part of the brain that we share with all other creatures really roaming the earth, and some creatures really only go as far as that. Then we have got the bit that formed afterwards, which I call the passion part of the brain. Otherwise maybe known as the limbic part, which is the hippocampus, the amygdala, hypothalamus. This part, the passion part, really is what we share with other creatures such as maybe dogs and cats, horses, even mice. It's about mood, about memory, about hormone control. That's the passion part of the brain, okay? And then lastly, we've got what I call the person part of the brain. Okay, this is like the prefrontal cortex, that executive function of the brain. It's the part of the brain that helps us make logic. It's the part of the brain that deals with complex social interactions, planning, public speaking. We share this with primates, and it's not something that other animals, maybe like horses and dogs and cats, have. Okay, the person part of the brain. This is the part of the brain that you need to use when you're delivering a speech. The challenge here is that when you are presented with an audience, your brain, if you're not used to it, will go into a fight or flight mode. It will think that you've got 25, 30, however many people, saber-toothed tigers, staring at you in the face, waiting to attack you. That's obviously not what's really happening, but you go into survival mode, which means all the blood flow that goes from the prefrontal cortex, the person part of the brain, it diverts to the primal part of the brain, okay, the center part of the brain, just to survive, just to run, just to move. And obviously you're on stage, you're not actually going to really be moving, you're not going to be running, you're not going to be dispersing, you're going to create a lot of cortisol in your system, and that's not going to be able to disperse. You're going to go into a panic state, you're going to forget your lines, none of that blood flow is going to the person part of the brain. So how do we get it back? When you were stood there, simple way, all the great answers are quite simple, I find. Breathing. But not just any kind of breathing, because most people are breathing into their upper chest. And unfortunately, that creates even more stress, okay? It restricts a lot of the movement of the lungs, and you can't actually breathe in as much as you need to. And you, in fact, still start stimulating that sympathetic nervous system part of your autonomic nervous system. What you need to be doing is breathing into the belly, okay, into the diaphragm. So you take a nice big, deep belly breath, okay? Ideally in through the nose, maybe out a little bit longer than you breathed in, and just take a nice big, deep breath in and out. Okay, you can breathe out through the mouth or through the nose, but breathing through the nose will also help stimulate your parasympathetic, your rest and digest part of your nervous system. But it's really important to breathe into the belly. So when you get up on stage, you remember, oh my God, I forgot my lines now. Just take a breath into the belly. In fact, do that before you get on stage, just to prepare yourself. And then when you get on stage, take 1 or 2 breaths like that to allow blood flow to come back to that person part of the brain. So we've got 3 parts of our brain. We've got the primal with the passion and the person part. And in the survival mode, it all goes to the primal part. And if we're speaking, if we're getting nervous, that's where all the blood flow is going. To get ourselves back to being human again, let's get the blood flow going back to the person part, which is all about breathing. Okay, so that is a simple tip on how you can get over nerves, whether you're public speaking or getting over nerves for something else, an exam, a test, anything else, okay? Just make sure you breathe into the belly, deep into the belly, okay, and nice slow breaths out. Ideally twice as long as you're breathing in, but make it a little bit longer and that will be good. Okay, if you've liked this video, please do like it, share it with other people, and remember to subscribe to this channel for more in the way of videos on mindset, resilience, nutrition, well-being, health, vitality, self-leadership, personal development. It's all on this channel. Until next time, remember, stay strong, stay super. Bye-bye.